Everybody, it's Christopher Dixieland Farm, and I have not published a video in a while. It's been a couple of weeks, but in reality, I haven't made a video in almost 3 months. I've been busy with other things. I've been busy redoing the bedroom flooring, which had kind of gross carpet, and then I replaced it with laminate flooring. And Walt has been doing okay, but he peed on crate of my records when he jumped into this room. Luckily, like these Command records, they're water resistant, so it was okay. He didn't ruin any of them, but you know, luckily the crate that they were in, you know, absorbed a lot of the blow, and these were in front, so these were easily wiped off. But also, I have not been feeling the love lately, and I've been also involved in other interests in watching videos there, but the vinyl community. I was watching, I'm just going to say, Jonathan Cheap and Cheerful Record Collector, last video, and it was see you in July. He was going on a vacation until July, and he said, like, right at the beginning, that I'm not going to be responding to anything. I'm going to be off social media, and also, I've been noticing people have been showing CDs lately, and you can do whatever you want on your channel, but this is the vinyl community, and that really put me off. It really put me off so much that I unsubscribed to him, and this is something that's come up in the vinyl community for years. I've been here for 8 years. 8 years ago, I made my first video, and it comes up like every year or two. You know, this is the vinyl community. Well, it is, but really it's the YouTube vlogger community, and we happen to kind of rally around music, and in particular maybe vinyl records, but in all honesty it's just vlogging, and that's it. So you can do whatever you want with your channel, and I do whatever I want with my channel. There is no vinyl community in reality. There's no rules. There's nothing you signed up for to be here. All you did was you made a video and you proclaimed, I'm in the vinyl community, and that's enough. And the vinyl community is as big as or as small as you want it to be. At this point, my vinyl community is small because people have disappeared over the years. And honestly, I've just kind of stopped looking for new people because they're going to disappear. And so I just kind of stick with the people that have been around for a while or who are really into it and seem to kind of stick with it. But also, in saying that, people always say the vinyl community's changed. Well, it has and it hasn't. But one thing I've noticed is people are more in the vlogging realm of, I put something out there and I expect an audience to come and find me, and that's it. That is the end of their vlogging, and that is not really part of a community. Community is kind of sharing and being involved with each other and making friendships. I've made a lot of friends over the years, and I've also lost a lot of friends over the years who've, they're transient, they just come and they go. People who've stayed here at my home, I've invited into my house, I haven't talked to in years. And last example is Zach, right? So I comment on Zach's videos. Zach never comments on my videos or watches my videos, probably. I don't know. So it's a one-way street sometimes, and that's to be expected in any kind of community. Vlogging, you know, social media. It is kind of one-sided. Record collecting is one-sided. It is a solitary experience. The reason why a lot of us are here is because we have nobody to talk to, because this is a solitary experience, playing a record. Nobody wants these things. Nobody listens to these things. Only, you know, introverts and social miscreants, you know, and outcasts are into collecting and listening to music, because you're alone, you're with headphones or speakers. It is not a communal experience no matter what you say. Even going into concerts is not really a communal experience. You're alone in a crowd of 1,000 people or 10,000 people, and then you leave, and then that's the end of it. You're not, if you're in a band, that is a communal experience. That is a community and a grouping. But that is just the way vinyl community is. That's the way any community is. And then this idea that you are beholden to some unwritten rules. This happens in the Disney vlogging community. If you start vlogging other things, people unsubscribe immediately, which I understand that. That's not what you signed up for a channel for, but they show you a little bit of different part of their life, and then the first thing you do is jump ship. So that is not a friendship. That is not a community. That is, it is very surface. And I've been, just after 8 years, it's been very surface, you know. Even though I haven't made a video about music in 3 months, 2 people have only reached out to me. That was Dean and Prog Rock Tommy, and everybody else, could care less. That's fine. But that also kind of disheartens you to being part of the community. You're involved with other people. I still comment on lots of videos. I still comment on roughly 30 videos a week. And the response back is small and limited. So I get it. But that is also why my involvement has disappeared. That is also why I reject the idea that the vinyl community is only about vinyl records. These things, as cool or as fun as you think they are, these are baseball cards. That's all they are. They mean nothing. The music is what means something. And if somebody wants to show it on a different format or no format at all, that should be okay, because ultimately this is a musical vlogging community. While it's got a lot to do with this, it's not the only thing that has to do with this. Case in point, I received a package in the mail from Trish. Trish Mullins is undisputably the mother of the VC. She has been here for, I think, 10 years. She gives these mixes out of her own hard-earned money. She makes them with love. She sends them to people as a welcome, as a I'm thinking of you, as a love letter to the vinyl community. And she has no vinyl records, all CD or downloads. Are you saying she's not part of the vinyl community? You're wrong. And if I'm not going to watch you, I'm not going to be, you're not part of my vinyl community. I'm not watching you then, because you don't get it. This is, again, me talking about Jonathan Richman is more important than me showing a cardboard picture of Jonathan Richman with a plastic disc that is a representation of the music in here. Me talking about how much joy Important in Your Life gives to me, or Abominable Snowman in the Supermarket, or Hey There Little Insect gives to me, and made a lot of impact to me as a teenager who found this music. And I've seen Jonathan Richman play live, I think about 15 times when I was in college, because he played a lot in New York City, and I would go in. That means more than me showing the piece of cardboard that represents that. This means nothing. The music and me talking about it is why you tune in, and you tune in to see me. And I tune in to see you. And that is what I like about the vinyl community. You may say, Chris, that is nonsense, and that is your vinyl community, as far as I'm concerned. And you could be part of that vinyl community. I'm part of this vinyl community, talking about how I had explosive brass impact. I've also had explosive brass diarrhea, but I've had explosive brass impact, and this was a gift, I believe, from Jim in Florida, who I've met twice and hung out with and had a lovely dinner with twice, and met my wife, and that I talked about how this is Enoch Light's label, and how these are audiophile recordings, that they sound fantastic, that you should seek them out when they're cheap, because they're a lot of fun. They take a lot of weird turns for playing standard songs. They're interesting and got that crazy stereo separation. The fact that this is in my possession physically or digitally means nothing, because it's, for me, talking about the music, it's about Trish sending out these things. That is why I have not been around, because I have not felt that connection. Sort of, I guess it got solidified when Bo sort of left, because Bo and I would talk for every day, and then he left, and then we stopped talking every day. We talked every other day, and then we talk maybe once a week, once every other week. You're still alive? I am. Are you still alive? I am. And that's it. That friendship is dwindling, and that's what happens in life with everybody. We come and we go, but I do. I'm glad I made that connection with Bo, and I will I'm sure talk to Bo again at some point. I will not be talking to Jonathan Cheerful Record Collector again, because that's just The other thing I've noticed too, one more side track, is that in the way that the vinyl community changes, that idea of community and talking to each other has disappeared. People often say, oh, I'm really interested in Instagram. That's where I show a lot of my stuff. Well, what you're doing is you're just putting out there, hey, I own this. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Aren't you glad that I own this? Validate that and then go away. That's about as far as you're really going to get into it. And that's also the YouTube Vinyl Community Facebook page, which at the beginning was about talking about to video makers, and then just became this is what I'm playing, and nobody paying attention, or cool, and that's it. I even made fun of that one year where I hid my face in album covers. Like I would take this Paul Revere and then insert my face in it and see if anyone noticed. I did that 40 times. Nobody noticed. And I have a video of that, of every time I did that, in my archive of Vinyl Community videos. So, and that's, when it jumped the shark for me. And this is sort of, I guess, where the Vinyl Community is jumping the shark for me also. But I still do watch, and I do comment. I try to catch my friends' videos, people who I've connected with, people who I find interesting. The Vinyl Douche, I talk to Sam and leave messages on his videos, and he responds, and that's to me what it's about. But I've also noticed a lot of people just don't respond to comments. So what are you putting this up for? Is it just to look at me? Is it just ego? I bought this thing for $150 and you should see how cool I am? Is that, I don't know. And not all these things are great. These records, I mean, there are some people who will show a $100 record, and then you go and you listen to it, you're like, hey, this isn't worth $100, this thing isn't worth $5. It's terrible. So that's why I've been sampling a lot of music digitally at this point, because I've got enough of my life dedicated to these space eaters, and realistically, how often can I play these? It's not very often, and the price of them is not worth having all of this a lot of the times. I got all these basically cheap, under $5 each for the most part, but paying $100 for a record that, didn't sell well, and Bo told me once he was talking to a guy, a record collector, and he's like, yeah, there's a reason why a lot of those things didn't sell well, because they're terrible. and some people have, shown these $100 records, and I've gone and sampled, I'm like, hey, it's interesting. That's the best I can do. Well worth the free download, not worth $100. This is worth $100. Trish's friendship. I don't watch Trish's videos nearly enough, and she's another one who's just like me and just kind of documents things as she wants, and that's great. It's just, I don't know. I should watch more Trish videos. You should watch more Trish videos. You should watch less of me. You should not watch me at all, to be honest with you. I have an inflated number due to my knee replacement videos and other hobbies that I've made videos on, but Vinyl Community is probably not at the top anymore. This is not a plea, by the way, for viewers or to watch. Just watch if you like me and what I say and what I do here. Don't watch, don't subscribe otherwise, because it doesn't matter to me. It's always been a thing. How many subscribers do you have? Who cares if nobody's commenting or interacting with you? I've always said that I've been making these videos for the same 50 people who've been commenting on my videos all these years, and that's basically true. My subscriber count was 50, and all 50 of them responded and watched my videos. That's all that would matter to me. The fact that it's 3,100 right now means nothing, because what's the point if you're not there? It's like a dad. What's going to happen to dad if he's not there? That's deep. I'll let you in a little psychology there. All right, so I've rambled enough. I haven't done one of these in a while, and this is why, because I ramble when the microphone's on. Yeah, so that's why you haven't seen me quite around. I've been doing other hobbies. I've been doing other things, and also just the general feeling is like, hey, if I'm not feeling it, I should make a video. And I do have loads of videos planned in my head that I've had planned for months, and you'll be watching them. You'll be watching them with me showing on the iPad, because for the most part they were from the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and there's no point in buying a CD or digital copy pressed on a piece of plastic just to make myself have something to show. I'm going to just talk about the music, and you can come along if you want, and don't come along if you don't want. So, from 69 Farm, everybody, thank you so much for watching this rambly video. Take care.